Hello, fam from Rovaniemi, Finland. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ashley. Welcome to the Way. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, give us a like, and hit that little bell so you can follow more of our adventures.
We are continuing our Nordic summer series, and today it is Farewell to Finland. We are leaving Finland, but don't worry, Nordics continue. We are headed to Sweden today.
We are actually taking a bus out of the city and having to go down to the border of Sweden and Finland and then catch another bus to go to a small town where we'll be staying the night, and then we'll take a train the next day. So we're gonna pack all that into today's video.
Yeah. So in our last video, you saw that we were relaxing in a hot tub as we were finishing our time here in Finland, and we've been staying at this place called Hostel Cafe Kotti. It's really nice. We've got these two little twin beds. It's been really cool. And there's a cafe downstairs where we've been having breakfast. It's really nice.
They have a rooftop actually, which is like something that I wouldn't think of in the Nordics. Like have a rooftop bar. Is it ever cool, warm enough? But it has been.
There's been people sitting out like every single day on it.
Yeah, and it's got this cool little boho swing inside the room.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, the cafe downstairs actually has these too. They're really comfy. I like them. Maybe one day I'll have one of these in my tiny home.
Nice. A nice breakfast at our hotel, a nice lunch at this restaurant, and then Ashley and I dropped off all of our postcards for you patrons who are helping support the channel. Yeah. So a reminder, if you guys are helping us on our Patreon, some of you get cool postcards.
Also with stamps from here in Finland, Santa Claus land.
Actually, that's kind of funny because the postcards that we're sending are from Germany, sent from Finland with the Santa Claus post office box stamp on it. Like, you know the one that we showed in the other video where it's like Santa Claus post office?
Yeah.
They're getting those stamps. That's
legit.
That's kind of cool.
So cool.
So those are very unique, one-of-a-kind postcards for you guys.
Exactly.
All right, we have to catch a bus now to go to Sweden. Sweden? Sweden. All right, we have arrived.
We're at a little teeny bus station in the middle of who knows where. These tickets I got online, and it's not super self-explanatory. Literally, our bus driver just pulled over, and we were the only ones that got off, so I assumed it was our stop because he knew somebody was getting off. And then pointed to the other side of the road and said, your bus will come there.
So Ashley used Rome to Rio to find the cheapest way to get to Sweden to make a connection. Yeah. And that's why we have like 2 connections today, 3 buses. All right, bus dropped us off. Not sure exactly where we are at the moment. Oh, we're in Sweden. Bus 3 of the day. A quick stopover in Luleå. It is like 10:30 p.m. We're gonna sleep and then we'll wake up in the morning, catch up with the NN. Good morning. Airbnb was lovely. I'll take Kiruna. 3 buses, an overnight stay, and then a train journey, and we're finally from Finland to Sweden in Kiruna now. So we thought it would actually be a good idea to answer some of your guys' questions about Eurorail, because we started the journey, right? And we've been going through Finland this whole time, and now we're into Sweden, and we've been using Eurorail the whole time. And so Ashley asked a bunch of you guys questions on Instagram.
And so we took your guys' questions and I answered some of them on Instagram, but I thought it would be great in this video to share with you guys as well. Just the information we've been learning along the way about Eurorail. Yeah. So we got these tickets in the mail before leaving, and our tickets are 15 travel days within a 2-month period, and it's
the global pass,
global
right?
pass.
Yeah.
They call it a global pass, but that's not. It's really only in Europe that you can use it. It's global because there are passes that you can get that are only good for one country or two countries, or the global just allows you to have a lot more freedom to where you are traveling.
Yeah, so the global is a tiny bit of a misnomer, but that's the name of it. So
when you receive it, you just get it in a little packet. They actually send it in an envelope, and then inside you have your actual tickets and a itinerary that you fill out yourself. Before using this, at first I was really confused about how you can validate it. You need to go to the ticket counter at the train station that you are starting your very first journey at.
The first time.
And they will have a stamp to stamp your ticket, and they will validate it for you.
After you do that, you'll have to do that the first time.
Only once, yeah, but just be sure to do that. Our first time using these passes, we did not do that.
They got a little upset at us.
We got in a little bit of trouble, so just be sure to do that. It's very simple and easy, and they'll know exactly what you want. I've actually been really surprised with the Eurorail passes. Every time we give it to someone, they know exactly what it is. They know how to deal with it, and it's very simple. A few of the questions that you guys have asked is, one of them, is it worth it? These Eurorail passes are not cheap. Train travel in general is not cheap. So I suggest you go and figure out how much you are going to spend on rail tickets wherever you are planning on going, and then using that price against the Eurorail price. For us, it's super convenient because we didn't know our exact itinerary until we started traveling.
But we knew we were going to be traveling a lot.
Yeah, so as long as we had the country, and then we were able to be like super flexible with our times of travel, and we've actually rode more trains than expected at the very beginning, just because we do have the flexibility of the pass, and we can use it as much as possible.
And if you actually use up the full 15 journeys, then I would say on average, yeah, it works out. You're going to save at least a little bit of money, but just the convenience of always having a ticket available is nice. And I don't recall if we said, but these were gifted to us from Eurorail.
Yeah.
So we didn't actually pay for them ourselves, but we know the relative value of them and how much we do spend when we do travel. So that's something for you guys to keep in mind.
Yeah, one of you on Instagram mentioned that you have seen cheaper flights in Europe with like budget airlines throughout Europe, and what the difference is. Like, is it worth spending a little bit more on rail travel? And in my opinion, I think that it depends on how you travel. Rail travel obviously is going to take longer because you're going over land. Depending on your, actually, if you're only doing like a 2 or 3 hour journey, then rail is like so much quicker than going 2 to 3 hours early to an airport that's not in the city center, and then spending extra money on your luggage. So that's another thing, that working out ahead of time what your itinerary, what your schedule is, and figuring out which is best. Do you have a lot of time? Rail travel definitely is good for seeing the land, but it does take more time to get somewhere.
But getting on the train itself is so much simpler than going through the whole hassle of getting to an airport, going through security, getting on the plane, waiting for it to take off. And I find that I'm way less anxious on travel days. I don't get anxious necessarily when flying, but compared to rail travel, it's like night and day. Plus, if you are at all conscious about how much fossil fuels you're burning, train travel is probably the most green way that you can travel. Like, it uses the least amount of fossil fuels, or just like a carbon footprint type deal. So train travel is a great way of seeing the land and not using up too many resources. Yeah,
and also if you're traveling with luggage, like large amounts of luggage, or even just like 2 bags like us, with budget airlines, you're going to end up spending the extra money on having luggage on the plane versus just the train. Like, that doesn't even check your luggage. You know, you just bring it on, you put it on, and it's there for the whole duration, and then you take it off. If you can find a spot,
you're good.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's completely how you travel and like the amount of travel that you have, time you have to travel.
Another question that we were given is Eurorail only available for Nordic countries in travel? And no. Short answer, no. We are doing a Nordic summer series, and we're traveling through Finland, Sweden, and Norway, and we wanted to show that it is possible to use Eurorail up here in the north, but it is not at all exclusively limited to the Nordic countries.
Yeah, and the countries that it does have it in, they have like special discounts for other companies that they work with. And so specifically the bus travel that we had earlier today, it was included.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was included ahead of time. I actually made a reservation, which reservations is another question you guys have. There in Finland, I found that making reservations on the national train you didn't need it. It was not necessary. You can just get on the train, and there in Finland was a lot of seating. We didn't really have a problem there.
In Sweden,
we definitely had to make more reservations, especially for the overnight train that's coming up. We had to make a reservation for that. And when you do make reservations in Sweden, you have to pay an extra charge. It's not that much depending on what you're looking for. We paid for first class, so we paid a little bit more. And then in Norway, if you have the first class tickets, which we do have, then we don't pay reservation fees. But if you don't have that, then you have to pay extra for reservation fees. And Norway is a whole different story. It's much more difficult.
Yeah, I don't think you can even get them online.
Yeah.
So we'll probably cover that when we get to Norway. Another question was, so can you go anywhere in Europe with Eurorail? And my first thought was like, yeah, you can, of course. Why not? They have trains. But then Ashley was like,
No, I don't think so. I think like there are some countries in Europe that don't have the rail system available. I am not positive, but there is a map on their website that we can pop up and just show you guys where it's available, or you can look that up. It's not everywhere, but for most of the part in Europe, you can get around Europe. And someone was also asking if Switzerland was included, and yes, you can get a ticket for just Switzerland, or you can include it in your global pass, or you can include it in just like a 2-country pass. But yeah, Switzerland rail travel is also included in a Eurorail pass if that's the type you get.
One of the people on Instagram asked, is there nice food and drink with Eurorail? That totally depends. It depends on the train that you're on, the country that you're in, and what status you've purchased. Like, so if you've upgraded to like a reservation status, it's possible that you could get some sort of catered meal if it's a long journey.
Yeah, our overnight journey that's coming up, we have a meal included.
Okay. But there is often a rail cart on the trains. I wouldn't call it nice food, but it is food. It's not horribly expensive, but it is, a little more expensive than you're going to pay in a grocery store or like just like coffee shop prices. Think about that.
Yeah.
So
it's not like Eurorail is a train company in itself.
No.
It works alongside the national trains in the country. So every country is going to be different with what they provide because they're using those trains that are in the country. It's kind of a third party, right? So Finland trains will be completely different from Swedish trains. Thales is also a company that works with Eurorail, and they're completely different from the others. So, and they do have a meal.
Yeah, because we actually used them in the past in some older videos, and we did have a pretty nice meal. That I wouldn't say the food itself was incredible, but like the service and having it all as part of like just your seat and having a nice layout, that was really nice.
So if you use it within Germany, your experience is going to be different. If you use it within France, it's just going to be different wherever the trains are because they're all national and different. Another question was, so Josh and I got a 15-day pass, which means that you asked, is it 15 days or is it 15 trains?
15 rides.
Or rides. Which on the Eurorail, when you're buying your ticket, you will have to specify. I think they have like a 5-day, a 10-day, and a 15-day options. And those are actual days, like 24-hour period of time. Once it hits midnight, then it's considered another trip unless you're on an overnight train, and then it's when you started your journey. So yeah, we have taken trains, like 3 trains in one day, hopping on and off, and I still have to write it inside here so that the conductor can see that we've documented it and that we are supposed to be on there. But
it just counts as
one use. It counts as one use, yeah. So we can use it up to 15 times, 15 days, and then as many times. That could be like 30 times if we went on 2 trains every day.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying 30 in a day.
30 times within 15 days. But our pass is actually good for 2 months. So we can do those 15 days
over the course of 2 months.
Course of 2 months. So whenever we want within those 2 months period.
Which is exactly what we've been doing on this Nordic summer series, and which is one of the main reasons for us sharing this with you.
Yeah, I think that these passes are great. I think that they are fairly expensive. But
if you're traveling by train, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, and I think that like some of our train journeys, I've used the app and I can see the schedule of the trains, and sometimes we want a slower morning. So all I have to do is go on the app and see when the next train is, and we go on that train. It's not like
I love it.
Yeah. It's not like we have to be on the one train unless we made reservations ahead of time.
Yeah,
but that hasn't been very often.
And occasionally there's only like the one train of the day, or like one and then one much later. But it's usually we usually have a couple options if it's for like a bigger city or something.
The flexibility has been really, really convenient for us and has made it really enjoyable on travel days instead of really stressful. And I really, really have loved that. The last person asked, how can you get the last person asked how you can get your Eurorail tickets.
Plug time.
Yeah, so we do have a link down below that you guys can purchase your tickets through. I don't think it's affiliate.
It is an affiliate link.
It's affiliate link. So
I set that up.
Get kicked back for that, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, Eurorail for us has been amazing this trip. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out in the Nordic countries because I rarely hear anybody doing it, but it's been amazing.
It really has.
It's been so fun, and I'm so glad this is the way we've chosen to travel in Nordic because we've seen everything through the windows.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see like the country passing by.
Josh saw a moose.
I did. I saw a moose. I didn't catch it on film, but I saw a moose and I pointed at it, and then Ashley Ashley missed it. So I saw a moose. We're good. The trip is good.
You can't see a moose from an airplane. That's what I'm saying.
You can't see a moose. If you do, it's Rocky and Bullwinkle, and you are in a different dimension. All right, we are going to explore more of Sweden in the next video. Yeah. Sweden. In the next video, we are going to be staying in a lakeside cabin, experiencing the Nordic summer culture of summer homes, I guess?
Lapland.
All by ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really exciting. So Wayfam, I hope we encourage you to get out there and travel today. Check the link in the description if you are interested in Eurorail.
And if you have any more questions, definitely put them in the comments and we'll be sure to answer them as much as we can.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.